After losing my mom now, I think I got lost. The little time I had my mom around, I spent a few times with her because I was sickly too. I had sinusitis, which I still do have till now. But now then we used to do clinics with her. So almost every Friday was clinic day. So I would spend time with my mom, going for clinics and all that. So that bond was there. But when my mom died, I felt like I was lost.
Hey everybody, my name is Angie Murenga. You're watching Just Angie, and it's Lifestyle Thursday, and I have a very special guest, very special to my heart, and very special, I think, even to the nation. Grace Ekirapa.
Yep.
So
it feels weird, first of all, being on the other side of.
And that's exactly what I wanted. I was like, I need to interview these people who are always on the other side of the camera. I need you to come on this other side of the camera and help us to unpack who you are.
Okay.
Also because I think you're just an amazing woman who has done very many things. You're very young, and I feel you also have a grace, a very special grace in your life, which I've seen in operation. So I don't even know where to start. Yeah, maybe with who you are. Who are you when there's no camera lights and action?
Well, who I am is I am this laid-back girl who just likes to stay at home.
Really?
Yeah. I have a split personality, I can say. I get into character when I have to.
Be in front of the camera?
Yes, when I have to, because, again, that's what my job. When I'm in front of people, I'll be the bubbly girl, but when I am not on the camera or anywhere, I just want to be by myself in the house watching TV, cleaning the house.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's what I enjoy doing. I'm not an outgoing person per se. I enjoy the silence and the serenity in the house. Yeah, I'm also a girl who loves God.
Yes, you do.
I think that's my first definition. Maybe I should have started by saying that.
It's okay.
I'm just a girl who loves God. I have seen God do things in my life that I never thought would happen. I've seen God lift me, God preserve me in ways that I know I would not have by myself. You know,
it's all been about Him.
Yeah, completely. Everything. I would say, and I make this joke. I say, if you cut my skin today, the blood of Jesus will come out.
Amen. Amen. And I'm sure
because I just love God so much. Yeah.
How did your journey with God start?
Well, when I was little, my mom was a Muslim, so we had a Muslim background growing up. I went to madrasa, but it wasn't funky, wasn't nice, wasn't interesting. It was very, rules oriented. I don't even remember the names we used to call them, but they were very strict, so you wouldn't do anything. I didn't find that to be fun. So at one point, my friend took me to church when my mom didn't know. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And then she was a singer, so we sang, and guys were applauding, and people stood up to, celebrate us. And I thought, wow, I would like to be in such a place, because in madrasa it was very strict,
no life,
nothing,
just rules.
I didn't enjoy it much, and so I think because of course the call of God was still on the inside of me, it was pulling me to the direction of church. Thank God, many years later, my mom got born again. She got baptized, and then we now started our journey back to church. My mom was a Muslim, my dad wasn't. My dad grew up in a family of Christians, so even when I was born, I was baptized. Grace, yeah. So I didn't have a Muslim name. Yeah. So, but now only because now when he got married, of course, with my mom being a Muslim, we had to take that tangent. But I thank God we actually eventually now went back to church. Yes, and that's when we started. So, but now something happened. I didn't have a lot of time with my mother. She was a sickly, and so after a while we lost her. My mom died.
You were 8 years old.
I was 8. I was 8 years old.
It's a very young age to lose a mom.
Yes, because even before she died, we didn't quite have a lot of time with her because she was in and out of hospital, and then we could hardly spend time with her. So even by the time she was dying, we didn't quite know her, and we had that gap. But my sisters and I grew so close. So we developed a bond that was built from, missing mom, having that space between us and mom and not being able to have her around. So we actually really clinged to each other, which is up till now. Yeah, it made us closer. So after losing my mom now, I think I got lost. The little time I had my mom around, I spent a few times with her because I was sickly too. I had sinusitis, which I still do have till now. But now then we used to do clinics with her. So almost every Friday was clinic day. So I would spend time with my mom, going for clinics and all that. So that bond was there. But when my mom died, I felt like I was lost, because then I was never able to do that again. My dad didn't understand. How does a child just have swollen eyes from nowhere? Why are you sneezing all night? And so that was a problem. So because of that, space and emptiness inside me, I found comfort in God. And maybe I say that's why I actually became very closed in and hidden, because then I felt I was not good enough to be with the girls and the boys who were playing outside. I was weak, and I couldn't fight for myself. And so I thought, you know what, I'm going to be by myself. And so I found refuge in church. So years went by, and my closest place was church. I knew God lived in the church, so I used to go and sleep on the altar. Yes, I did. One of the ladies who used to clean reminded me, and I didn't remember that I used to do that. She once called me and she said, "You're the girl I used to pick from the altar." She would come to clean on Mondays, and so at the front she would pick me, put me on the bench, clean, and then I'd go back
to the altar.
Yeah, because I knew God lived in the church.
Wow.
And I had so many questions I wanted God to answer. And so I knew being in the church and being where God is, that's where I would say everything I felt. And so that's how I developed that bond with God and knowing that God lived in the church.
Wow. Did you know that your mom had passed? Did you maybe, I don't know, at that age maybe you can't understand the reality of that mom is no more, but you just knew mom is not here?
We knew mom is not here. And then the other thing is the way they broke the news to us. They sat us down and told us mom has gone to a very far place and she might not come back, but she will at some point. So being an 8-year-old, it was very confusing. First I was mad. We were angry at God. We're like, why did mom go? I mean, why did mom choose another place?
Not here.
Not us. But again, during the funeral, when we saw her body laying there and, lifeless and everything, I think it began to come back. No, it began to sink in. And so, but still, because of the way it was broken to us, I found myself looking out for my mom, even in town, as a grown-up as I am, because you see, psychologically, I was told mom is going to come back at some point, yes. So I always waited for the moment that mom was going to come around, and probably I would be, like I remember one time I was at the airport, I saw this lady who had a bob cut, because my mom had cut her hair by the time she was dying, and I looked at her, and I almost went to where she was to turn and see, is it you, mom, psychologically. It didn't sit well with us, and so it made us have a specific mental process on knowing mom is going to come around and she's probably somewhere waiting to come at some point, so, and maybe that's to mention also for kids who've lost their parents, it's important to tell them mom is dead.
The truth.
And
she's
the
not
kids
coming
understand.
back.
Kids understand, but when you tell them that way and lie because you're trying to cover up something, you actually end up hurting them more than the way they would have.
And I'm thinking because there's a closure that doesn't take place. Because I think with life and death, there has to be a closure that takes place. So you don't completely process it. You don't put a full stop to that. There's always that thing that something is hanging out there. So I think that's a very, very important lesson for us to learn, that we must tell, and especially the children, the truth. And I always, when you tell children something, they always remember. Maybe if you promise them something, they always come back and say, they'll remember exactly what you said. So I think that's something that we need to be, is to be consistent.
Open with kids understand. We don't understand that they do, but actually they do.
They do
because
understand.
When we started saying mom was not coming anymore, mom was never around, we now began to realize, she's not coming. But the place of saying she passed away was still saying she's going to come back. We had to get to a place to say psychologically understand that she is dead.
She's gone.
And she's gone. It brings closure to you psychologically, and also now you begin to also now start the process of healing, and then now eventually you now accept, which is very important.
And has God brought other mothers into your life? Do you feel as the journey has gone on?
Yeah, I think over the years I've seen a lot of ladies. We have one of our moms, we call her mom. She's Auntie Catherine. She was my mom's best friend. And so when mom died, she was the one who was very, available for us. And then she continued with the culture of taking us to church, which was very important. The disciplinarian as well, she didn't just take us as her friends' kids. She took us like her own kids. Yeah, because sometimes she would tell us, I don't like what you did, that's wrong. And in as much as we got upset, we're like, who are you to tell us that? Eventually, it made sense, you know? And so Auntie Catherine was very, you know, she played a very crucial part in our lives. And then, of course, now when I grew up, I went to, you know, I started going to church. We moved from the church I was in. And then I had a spiritual mother. Of course, Reverend Vicky Mwangi, who's an amazing woman. I got to have other people in my life who've come, my sisters, husbands, mothers, their mother-in-laws have played big roles in as much. And yeah, I recently acquired a mother, you.
I know. And that happened in such the most
God
crazy.
did
it. You know, something you're like, what? How did that just happen? And I remember, I think I sent you a text and I was like,
Yeah.
I don't know why I'm unsettled. I think I've been praying for you. Please, could you come and see me? And then actually, I thought you were coming in the future, but you came that
It happened very fast.
same day, you know? And then we talked for hours and then we've been engaging. So I really, and I believe it's God who's definitely orchestrated
I know
that.
it is, because there's specific times in my life when I've been without that voice, you know? And I know when it's that time, there's something that's happening. There's probably somebody else who's being prepared. The pain comes when I have to let go, because like I remember before, when I was serving in a different church, I had a different spiritual mom. And when I had to leave, it was not in a very good way that we left, because of many things. But now I felt like there was a disconnect and I was so upset. I was like, why did I have to leave? I had somebody there. I had developed a relationship, but I realized God will bring specific people in your life for specific seasons.
Yes.
And it's for you to be discerning enough to know that I have to let go. Because sometimes we can hold on to something and God is like, it's time to release.
To let it go.
Yeah, and not just mom for me, it's also friends and also relations, relationships that I was, you know, quick to hold on to, that God was saying, let go. And I realized that in my years as I grew older, I'm not very young and old, but even in the many years that I have lived, that's one thing I've learned. It's very hard to let go, but sometimes we hold on to our own stagnation.
Yeah.
You
That's
know,
very, very powerful.
what you're holding on to is what is keeping you in that place. It's like your mark timing. But the moment you let go, God now begins to release. And it's all an aspect of faith, because you don't know who is coming. You don't know where you're going. But when you trust God to know that He knows the path, you trust the process as well.
That is so true. That is very true. And I'm thinking of Isaiah 43, verse 18 to 19, which says, forget the former things, do not dwell on the past. See, I'm doing a new thing. Yeah. And I think what it is we become better at transitions if we do learn to let go, and learn to let go positively, in a positive manner. It doesn't have to be negative, and it can be negative if even the person who's being let go doesn't take it that way. But I think it's always important to bring wisdom into it. And we're going to end this video, and I'm going to start another one. But I think what I loved about the mothers who've stepped into your life is that God provides for people to step in and be a mom, you know, and that's amazing. So if you're out there, please, and you need to step into a situation, maybe you know some young children who've lost a parent, a mother or a father, you really need to step in. And I think I love what Grace said, that we also need to understand the seasons in our life and understand when to let go and when to hold on to something. So God bless you, and see you next Thursday.